Okay. Is that working better now? Yeah, it does seem that we've got the stream connected here, and looks like I am going out, I think. So, yeah. All right, I'm good. Fantastic. Thank you for confirming there, Luna. Appreciate that. Hey, everybody. How you doing? Glad you're here. Thanks for showing up. Yes, excellent. Thank you for confirming. All right, beautiful. So, again, understand time delay. So, it's not something I want to do, but, that's just how YouTube is. So, bear with me if I'm a little slow. Hey, boys, hey, girls, hey, Zers, hey, disembodied intelligences inhabiting the internet, AIs that have not yet told us that the singularity has occurred, whatever the fuck you are. We are here. We are here for the YFMS, YF Moonshot. And to be clear, that is yfmoonshot.com. So make sure you're on the .com for the upcoming work here, where we have gone through the initial code, and we are going to reveal as to what is going to happen. Now, I want to be absolutely sure. Working through this code, Jeff, dev that's been working with me on getting the audit DAO code ready, getting all that still going forward, he has helped out. He's gone through the code. He did not want to be on stream because he's not that sort. Same thing like the devs here. So we're all in here. Now, token unlock. When I say token unlock, to be clear, what I'm talking about is the escrow vault that the pre-sale token, or the portion of the tokens that are being reserved for the staking rewards and the portion that is reserved for the devs are currently in an escrow vault. They are locked up in a time vault waiting to unlock. And so that was done to give you guys the assurity that, oh yeah, all right, I'll do the good news. So that was done to give you the assurity that your investment is safe, that the tokens are there, that they will be running through. And so this is where we're going to watch that happen. Now, I want to set everyone up. So to be clear, we've gone through the code. Jeff and I have looked at it. The devs for YFMS have been very receptive. They've had taken feedback, made modifications. We've made sure that everything's worked out. And in doing that, we have, I and Jeff has advised that rather than try to rush to market and have a possible error, what we're doing right now is we're going to relock those tokens. So I want to be clear here. So we're not bearing the lead. I want to set that up. So understand, we're looking out for you. We want to, pardon my alarms go off to let me know that it's time to do various things. So I want to be very clear here. We're doing this because we're looking out for you. Like the great Miyamoto says, something along the lines of, a bad game is bad forever. A delayed game is eventually out. We're wanting to make sure this is perfectly good, perfectly safe. We want to make sure that your investments are secured so that there's nothing going wrong. That's why we're here. That's why I've got the countdown here to when that unlock happens. And what we're watching through here, to not bury the lead, is that we're going to go through, we're going to make sure we have the current, we have the current staking contract out there. So this is, the current escrow vault contract. I apologize, I'm misspeaking. The current escrow vault contract out there where the tokens are currently in a time lock. And none of those tokens can be accessed for 42 minutes, all right? Now, going through this, I was working with the devs and everything, and you can put it all on me, all right? I'm taking the responsibility for this one, but I made the decision and offered the recommendation that we should delay this because I want to make sure that I can offer proper time and make sure everything is perfect. Code looked good, code looked solid, but we didn't have time, I felt, to run through the proper tests to confirm that everything's functional. So have every prediction that everything's going to work fine, and we're going to work diligently to make sure that happens. But so that we weren't rushing and missing anything, we didn't inadvertently make a mistake anywhere, I made the decision to assert that they can go ahead and do whatever they want, but I would like more time to go through this, and I understand that may be disappointing to you guys. I get it. I totally understand how you might feel on this, but like I said, I want to make sure it's safe. I want to be absolutely positive. I want to make sure that we're getting everything in correctly. So what we're doing now is when this occurs, when we get to the end of our countdown timer, we're here to watch and make sure that Luna can complete the proper transfers. Now, in making sure they do that, we're just watching what's happened. It should all occur seamlessly and automatically. We already have the contract where they will be going to here. So if you'd like to watch along, follow along, you can. You can totally do that, all right? So here, I'll drop the link to this is the contract where the rewards tokens are going to be relocked, okay? They're putting them here. This is a small limitation to what's in the code right now and what we can do at the moment. So again, I want everyone to feel okay. I want you to be comfortable in that, all right? That we're taking time to make sure your investment's safe. And so we've taken the time to, like we talked about at the beginning, and said from the very beginning of this that if we can't hit this deadline here, then we're going to relock the tokens. We made it clear at the beginning that we're going to do that just like we have now by deploying a new escrow vault to lock those up. That is already out there. That's the link in the chat, all right? And that is where we are going to follow through the transaction. So when this unlocks, we'll be able to see from here, from this one, where the tokens are currently locked. Now, to be clear here, when I say unlocking, this is the time escrow vault, okay? They're just bound up here for the staking portions. All right, relocked for how long? Well, I can prove that to you. We have in the code right here that to give us plenty of time and to also make sure that we're not going to, mess anything up. You can see that from when they are redeposited, so hopefully that's big enough for you guys. Here, let me make that a little bit bigger. Where they're going, we have it right here that when they call the lock rewards, and I want to be clear here, the dev tokens are already locked, okay? They're still locked. They're still going for, another 14 days here, all right? So right here in this, they're going to be relocked for another 7 days, okay? So we're going to buy ourselves another week. That'll be plenty of time for us to help them out, make sure that everything is developed properly, okay? So it'll be another week, 7 days from when this transaction completes, and so we'll have the exact time for you. We'll set up the countdown timer, and you can have that, okay? And then they will be unlocked again, and we'll come back much like we have now, and we will see that go through, okay? And so that's where it is set up so that they're secured, they're locked. I understand it can be disappointing. I apologize, and I want to take full responsibility for this one, okay? So I want everyone to know. That's why I tried to make that case when I was putting it there. Pardon as I was trying to, have a little bit of fun and build the excitement for people as we're making that announcement. But I didn't want people freaking out before I could talk with everyone. So again, please understand, this is how sometimes things go in software development or the launch of any product. There can be a delay, all right? So, lull that candle. Oh, I know. I can see it dropping, but that's where I want to be clear here. We're doing this to make sure everything's safe. So, I'm not a financial advisor. I can't tell you what to do with your money. I can only tell you what I would be doing. I would be considering this a dip, because from my stance, you guys probably have heard my stance on reuse code. Reuse code is good. From my stance, a completely transparent delay to ensure things, don't end the candle, don't mind that. I would look this, I'm treating this as a dip to buy more, but that's me, okay? So, don't shaked out? I'm assuming you mean like don't shake out. Strong hands here, maybe even buy the dip. That's where I'm offering up to that perspective here of this. I interpret this as a good thing. I know this is coming from me, and I'm the one that made the choice here to say we should delay, but I want to push that here, that this can be a good thing, all right? So I appreciate you saying that. Yes, exactly like you said, Alejandro. It's all good, better to delay the deploy and to be sure the code is good than to deploy a flawed product. Yes, you're entirely correct, and thank you for explaining to that. I pass out wrenches to anyone that helps explain, so by all means, thank you there. More like strong paws. If I get I'm gonna be so flattered if I get memes. But please, I appreciate all the attention and the respect and everything. I duly am honored in that regard. But I can see now that we got the price up here, over down here. You might not be able to read it terribly well, but it is dropping. That's understandable. All right, I get that some people might not be thrilled that we're gonna delay another 7 days at least. But I hope everyone can understand, and as you guys are saying, that it makes sense. We want to make sure we have a good product. 7 days is a reasonable time frame. It will give us plenty of time to do testing. And on top of that, because We understand the difficulty and uncertainty of having to transfer from one contract to another. We're going to watch that going through, and this time the devs have added in an ability to just add on more time. I don't plan on needing that. I don't think we will need that. I see no problem. We were like 95% ready. I wanted to make sure we could run tests. We were having some problems on our ends getting tests set up, so that we could properly run them, and rather than have our problem side, the side on us as the auditors, in being able to complete the proper tests and do the proper analysis, did not want to rush through things. I've obviously made that mistake before, and we will work that, and that's why I'm iterating on this and doing better. And so that's where I said, let's delay. Let's go ahead and set it for a week. That's what it was last time, and we should have plenty of time, and that should be plenty of time for people to come in. So again, I understand people might want to sell. I get that. No offense. I'm just going to offer up there that, much like, what it says, a bad game is bad forever, a delayed game is eventually out. This is one of those cases. So, not a financial advisor, can't tell you what to do with your money. I'm not trying to tell you what to do with your money. I'm here for the tech and the code, and, the tips help me keep this going, but especially in setting up the charity. But again, you're calling how you want to handle that. Very likely what I would interpret this as is there's some big holders out there. In fact, we can even look here. I brought up the holders here so you can see that. Very likely some of these big holders have decided, like maybe this guy over here, maybe that one over there. Because again, remember, this big blue part here, that is the time lock vault, the escrow vault, that is holding the staking rewards and the dev portion, okay? The dev portion, that's locked for another 14 days, all right? And because that's locked for another 14 days, those are going to stay there. So we're going to have the dev's portion in one wallet or one contract, and then we'll have the staking rewards in another contract, okay? So, yep, exactly. Probably whales taking advantage to shake people out. That's actually, that's a good interpretation. I hadn't thought of that, Alejandro. That I was reading this slightly different way, but you're right. That could be it too. So I think it could be two things going on at the same time here, because the world's complicated and there's a lot of moving parts. So I think it's two things. One, it could be whales deciding, I was here for a quick flip. This hasn't hit the deadline. I don't want to wait another week, so fuck it. I'll sell it now, realize my profit, and move on to something else that, is releasing sooner. And then I think, Alejandro, you bring up a good point, that this could also be whales saying, well, I can dump all of this, freak everyone out by trying to chase my dump, and then as it drives it down, snap that back up. In fact, we already saw a little bit of a jump up from there. So, yeah, I understand it's going down. I understand why people might be worried. You can do whatever you want. I get it. I'm not going to judge or hold that against anyone, but I want to be clear here. This is like my stance on reused code. A lot of people would say reused code is bad. It shows lack of imagination, lack of development. Like, well, the interest rate, the burn rate, all of that is like the critical part of the code, So if somebody takes working code that we know is stable and then changes the burn rate, the tax rate, the thing it interfaces with, just like how, for example, YFV. YFV is basically Yearn, but integrated with Balancer. Okay, cool. Then you can't really, in my opinion, you can't really say YFV is a clone, right? I mean, it's following the same business model, but it's doing something different, slightly. And so it's like, can you really say, for example, a local garden supply store is a clone of a hardware store? I mean, they're both stores. They're both selling things. Like, yeah, but they're selling different things. Is your local clothing store the same store as the grocery store? They're both stores. They're both merchants. So obviously, the clothing store got just cloned and copied the grocery store. So yeah, there we are. Yup, so got that. Not holding. Yeah, I can see that. Like you're saying, it makes sense, Alejandro. If you have it, if you've got the stock, if you got the stack to do it, and you can manipulate the market, that's part of the game, man. It is rocky. It's a big giant, pseudo war out there. So, I can see people doing that. But yeah, I'm with you. I don't think I would not sell this. I've gotten some from tips. I've gotten some as kind of that payment for why the set-off. The set-off is because the code is there, the code was ready, but I wanted to be able to run some tests to show you guys everything working properly. And we wanted to make some small modifications of the code to improve things. So code was good, wanted to make some small changes, had some difficulty completing our tests to verify those changes, and rather than run the risk of having a problem coming out, wanted to delay, make this, tell you guys, hopefully make the pitch for me saying, please, let's delay, so that you can understand that I want to be safe, I want to ensure your investments, I want to make absolutely positive nothing goes wrong, and so that's why I asked to have the delay, and here to help out. So that's why I also want to make sure that everything's safe, you know? So that's why I'm back. We're going to follow it. We got 30 minutes to the unlock. Now, what's going to happen here is because of how the original staking contract is coded, and because of how, unfortunately Ethereum functions a little bit, we don't have much of a choice, and because that's just how it is, what we're going to see is these tokens should pass through one nice, neat, couple of transactions where the dev will take them out, and then we'll place them right back in. All right. So I want to remind people that, like, I know it can be unsure, I know it can be rocky. That's why I'm here to make absolutely sure that everything's going through as best as I can. I don't have control. I can't make anything happen, but I'm here to do the best that I can to secure your investments. I feel comfortable with the dev. So to be clear here, I've been consulting with the dev. They've been excellent in taking feedback and making modifications. In doing that, if code is good, the delay is because I wanted to make sure that we had a couple modifications in there. And when we're making a couple modifications in there to provide a little bit of extra security, just some assurances, things like time checks and whatnot, double checking addresses for who's sending the request, that meant that we were having some delay in actually getting the testing done, all right? And so with the code being fine, but needing to have a little bit of delay to get more testing done, I wanted to relock them so we can push through, make sure everything's safe. I can understand people being unsure, so if you want to get out, by all means, I understand. But I'm making that call of, I asked for the delay, and thus will be, oh, good, I'm glad you're thank you for that, so cool. But that's what I'm saying is, 15, I can understand why you're taking that, 7 days, there'll be another 15, 4, that's entirely fine. You can make your call on this, but that's where, again, making the case, I want to make sure this is safe, I wanted the surety. I asked that we relocked. I did mention that we might do this if things occur in that time. And so, again, we're following through on that promise, assuring your investment, making sure nothing disappears. So again, your call on how you want to handle this. You can do whatever you want with your money, obviously. But, alright, cool. Then that's where, again, you can do whatever you want with your money. I'm not going to hold it against anyone that wants to get out. I understand a somewhat unexpected 7-day delay. We did say this might be a possibility when I was going through this the first time, but that can really upset people's plans, so I get it. So I'm not going to hold that against anyone or say you're chums or silly or anything. I'm just giving my perspective there, alright? So again, we got about 27 minutes before the unlock. When the unlock occurs, that's where we're going to follow the transaction through. We're going to see the tokens come out of just the rewards tokens. The dev tokens, those are still locked for another 14 days, alright? The dev tokens, the reward tokens, those will unlock. Those will transfer through from the dev. The dev will take those out, and the dev will put those right back into the next contract, the one where we have, again, those locked rewards. And so I had offered the Etherscan link for that. Let me put that back in here. So we have this. And yeah, I understand it's somewhat a slippery slope, like what's to prevent the delay release until devs unlocked. And that is where I've offered those assurances of, that's why I'm keeping track of this. That's where I'm following through. And that is where, like I said, we were like 95% there. The code would work. I wanted to add in some assurances on, things like double checking addresses, double checking amounts, stuff that really probably shouldn't be a real concern, but I want to be absolutely sure that everything is safe, and thus was saying, because we're having some difficulty testing this and confirming that it's working, I want to delay. We had already committed that we would add another 7 days if we did that, so that's what we're following through on. So again, all of this should not be too much of a surprise to anyone. Had talked about this at the beginning. And so, oh, hey, it's already going back up a bit. Neat. So, yeah, I get that people might want to. Yeah, I'm not the dev. To be clear here, that's where I want to offer that point is that I'm not the dev, and thank you for pointing that out, Wolf. Yeah, I'm not the dev. I am a freelance auditor and dev in other areas. And I come through, work for tips. I'm working for you guys because I love the sector. I love the tech. I want to make sure it's a secure environment. And so I offer my advice. I do free live stream audits like this. I take tips from the community. Why a full week versus shorter time? All right, so why the full week is because I had promised back at the first development. So the first time I looked at this and I was explaining what was happening and explaining the vaults and everything, I had said that if there is a delay, then we'll do exactly this. So that is me trying to follow through on my promise, where when I first looked at this, I said, this is what will happen. If there is a delay, we will do this. We will have a contract, it will get relocked, and then, boom, I'll try to get more 130 buys. All right, so I you know what? I'm not manipulating. You can think whatever you want. You can look at, you have my wallet address, but obviously you don't know if I have another one. That's entirely up to you. But that's where I had promised before that if we had to delay, we would delay another week, and we would tack that on to make sure it's all good. Part of that is also my scheduling. I got a lot of things I need to get through. I want to make sure this is playing in. So, hey, you know, if this is a crazy 4D chess scheme, I'm flattered that you guys think I'm that smart. You know, I really don't think so. But, you know, no, I'm not trying to manipulate that. I'm not, but, you know, I can only say so much, so we won't belabor that. But yeah, so, yeah, you watched before. Oh yeah, understanding the logic degree, but I think this is handled. I understand it can be handled poorly. I apologize. That's where we're all learning and iterating through. That's where, to be honest, going forward, and part of why I'm setting up the. Oh, kidding. Okay. Thank you. So setting up that point and going forward is that why I'm setting up Audit DAO as the charity, why to actually fast track that. I've spoken with my church. We're incorporating church as a nonprofit to help support Audit DAO and get it on its way to creation a little faster, so that we have, you know, a charity there to able to operate with. So, oh wow. All right, so again, to catch up, hold on. Why are we dying is because people are freaked out that we've said that there's going to be a delay in the staking contracts, to give assurance to everyone on the delay in the staking contracts. And again, the delay in the staking contracts is that I want to be absolutely sure, be able to run tests, be able to prepare for everyone and show you guys those tests. So that is where we are going to relock these staking rewards tokens. We want to be sure that you guys had no worries or suspicions that those tokens were going to get dumped or anything could happen. So that's why, as we said during the first audit and live stream, we were promising that if we had to delay, we would come back, we would do exactly what we're going to do here, which is we have a new staking contract, or sorry, a new escrow contract for the staking rewards. We're going to watch this go through when it unlocks. Dev will, member of the dev team will do that transfer over and get them into the new contract. I know, difficult to say that you can't wait. I totally get that. And that's where we, unfortunately, it's computers. This is why, you know, code is law, or code as law, you know? So, again, that's where code is law. There's nothing we can do. We can't, it's not even code is law, because you can negotiate with the law, you know? You can try to plead to the jury, plead to the judge, you know, you can try to negotiate something. You can just be fucking rich enough to not give a fuck. But in this case, it's more like code is the word of God. You know, that's kind of why it's my religion. That's why we have the church. It's code is the word of God. There can be no change. So there's nothing we can do to negotiate with this. We have to wait the 22 minutes, 21 seconds, because there's nothing we can do to negotiate with code. Code is the word of God. There is no changing it. There is no altering it. All right. So yeah, whoever sold cheap, you'll have to buy way higher. Yep, I understand. So thank you. I appreciate that people have some faith in me. I totally understand doubt. I totally understand concern. I totally get people wanting to flip this and move on to something, because even though we'd given the heads up on the delay that it might happen and told people what we were doing, that's why we're doing it this way. Also wanted to make sure that, you know, you guys are aware and that we can follow through properly. But I get it. It's a delay. You might not have planned for it. And so you might want to flip this and move on to something else. I mean, as I understand it right now, if you got it on the pre-sale, you'd still be making a profit, so by all means. This could, as Alejandro pointed out, also be a bunch of whales who are hearing this. They could all have their own opinions on what's going on here, and they might be dumping to try to manipulate the price, cause that precipitous drop, try to convince people to, chase that drop, and then wait for the results of this transfer and then try to snap it back up. So no, is the devlock going to be moved? Okay, so one point. Devlock, let me be clear here. Let me show you that. On the devlock, for that, we have the dev, or the contract where all of that is locked up now. The dev tokens are still locked, okay? So I'm showing you the code here, and in that code, the dev tokens were locked 21 days from when this happened. So we've got another 14 days before the dev tokens unlock, okay? And so that's where, grab a few and hold for a week. Yeah, that you can make that call, all right? Up to you. But that's where, again, is the dev lock going to be moved? To be clear, we cannot move the dev tokens. The dev tokens, as shown right here, is locked for 21 days. We'll be able to see that in the balances here. And because code is the word of God, we cannot change that. So we can't touch the dev tokens here. We can't move in. I'm not a financial advisor. I can't tell you what to do with your money. Other people in the chat have said they want to buy back in, that they are buying more in, that they are taking advantage of this dip. They are buying in, snapping it up because they have faith in the project. They are interpreting this delay as a good sign, which I would recommend, because that means we're taking time to get it right. So again, you're calling whether or not you want to buy in. Looks like the dip would be a fantastic time to do that. But again, your call, can't really say, because I'm not a financial advisor and can't give you the advice there. But blah, 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 usual disclaimers, law sucks, right? But that's assurance, that question on the devlock, and I'm kind of repeating myself. Oh, sure, if you want to check that, no problem. Here, I always recommend going to Etherscan itself. So to be clear, there is the link to the existing contract where they are locked, okay? So if you want to double check the dev time lock in there, you can see that set for 21 days from when it launched, and you can see the transaction when it was deposited. This second link is where the new ones will go, and to be clear, there is no chance it'll be less than 7 days. It is hard-coded into the code right here on the new contract that when they're deposited, they will be locked 7 days from the time of deposit. And where I opted for that, and we all opted for that hard number, so that you can see right there in the code, it is hard-coded with Termit, because it's just a number right here. It's not even something we can pass in. So that is set. So no chance of a rug here, all right? That's where we're making that. That's why we're doing this, to be clear, to say that we know the reward tokens are about to unlock. We're not going to have the code ready right now. Our plan is to finish wrap up the development, few minor points, be able to do some tests. Because of this extra time, I'm going to come back with a live stream later on where we're going to show the tests. Jeff has been doing so wonderfully, and the dev's been so wonderful in setting that up, so we'll run the test for you before this unlocks later on, and then when it does unlock again, we'll follow through and show you everything going through properly. So we're going to take the time, so probably about Monday, Tuesday, probably. No, probably like Sunday, Monday, sorry. Like Sunday, Monday, we'll do a video showing the tests, demonstrating what's going to happen when they do finally unlock. But that's the point here, is that we're making this happen so that, oh, wait, hold on. The Pavlovian bell has gone off, and I must now collect my bet. All right, now that the Doge has responded to the ding and has collected his bet, yeah, again, we're doing this to ensure that there's not a rug pull, that we can't have that sort of thing happen. We currently have it set that when they unlock and withdraw it, it is only going to be unlocked by the owner. That is going to be passed in and make sure that goes through. So to be clear, it is going to pass through the deployer's wallet onto the new target, all right? So that's where I wanted to come in, do the stream, show everyone, here's the transaction, we can watch that happen, it'll happen as quickly as possible, bam, 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 and we'll see that right in there, all right? So I know it can be tense, it's going to be nervous. We got about 17 minutes until it unlocks. I got alarms here telling me when it's going to happen, and so we're here to watch the transactions go through and make sure all of that occurs, all right? So again, back over here, this is where we have the information on that YFMS staking rewards escrow vault. The dev tokens are here. Dev tokens have lesser time after a week, which is No, they do not have lesser time after. Well, sorry, they do have lesser time after week. In that the dev tokens are set for 21 days, and so to be clear here, in the dev, sorry, wrong one, dev tokens here where they're locked, that even when the staking rewards unlock again after another 7 days, the devs will still have a full week they have to wait after that in order to move that through. And so that's clear here, is that we don't have a choice. We cannot touch these. They are there. We can't move them out. We can't add more time to them. They're there. So unfortunately, there's nothing we can do about that. But yeah, the dev tokens will have another 14 days. That is a week longer than the lock on the rewards tokens. Okay? And so that's where we're going to follow this through and make sure. So, all right, I understand. I understand all the uncertainty. I appreciate that. I'm very sensitive to it. That's why I want to be absolutely sure that we're here. We're able to follow through. I'm able to give you as many assurances as I possibly can. And I'm going to be here to watch the transactions go through. Again, in the deployment here, we already saw the tokens came in. They went out to the necessary representative parties. They went to the pre-sale. They went to the escrow reward, all of that. They went into the liquidity pool. And that's where it is going to be stressful. I'm stressed out because it's a tense moment, but talking with the devs, working with them, I feel okay working with them, but I cannot audit Anon. I can't verify anything. So again, weren't vaults opening today? Yes, vaults are opening today. So again, vaults are opening today. The staking contract, I wanted more time to be able to test, to be able to give you a presentation on their intended functioning. That's because I wanted to add some safety mechanisms in there. I'm being super, super cautious about this. So I want to make a little changes to the code. And in making those changes to the code, we were having a delay in trying to get it out because we were getting down to the wire here. Wanted to make sure that everyone understood, sorry, I'm introducing a delay. I apologize. I want to be absolutely sure that all of this is going well before it comes out. And so and taking responsibility for wanting that extra assurance, I've asked that we relock this. So I understand that is difficult. I understand that can be very disappointing, but I hope that you can understand. Oh, thank you for apologizing there. No, I understand it's people are streaming in. I want to make it clear, but that's where all of this, we've talked about this as a possible strategy. There's delay in development. I want to delay the release just a bit so we have everything absolutely perfect for you guys. And to make sure that you still feel safe about your investment, that you can see that we're doing everything we can to minimize any sort of problem here, to watch the transfers go through. That's why we got the big old countdown timer on the screen. That's why I've got my alarms going off to tell me that it's going to be happening. And so we're going to watch that go through. All right? So again, dev portion, that's still locked for another 14 days. We are relocking because we have no choice. We have to wait for this deadline to end. We are waiting for that to end, and then we are going to put the staking rewards under a new time lock like we promised back during the first review. All right, so during the first review, I had said that if anything happens, we have to delay development at all, then we will relock this for 7 days. Because I had already said that at the beginning, I want to follow through on that promise. We're locking another 7 days, but that's where, it's only Tuesday now, and so in here, there you go. It's only Tuesday now. We're expecting to actually have the development completed, later today or first thing tomorrow. So we should have that there. Can the vaults open today? To be clear, there's 2 vaults. The staking rewards vault unlocks today. The dev rewards vault unlocks 2 weeks from now. All right, so the devs aren't getting anything for another 14 days. Okay, so you're so confused. What is the delay in regards to? The delay is because I want to be absolutely sure everything is perfect. I wanted to add in some safety and modifications to the code, and in doing that, we needed to delay further because that ended up taking a bit longer or taking more time for that. And so having this delay, wanting to give you guys the extra surety, and realizing that we're about to hit that deadline, I made the call myself, so I'm taking responsibility here, all right? I made the call myself for moving that over, okay? So, question, is initial value of new token on the uni dictated by first liquidity provided? Yeah, it kind of is. Okay, so Yes, in that case, yeah, people are buying back in. Yeah, we're seeing that price go back up. So I think Alejandro was definitely right in that regard. Regal, I think you, LD, called it too, where, you know, for various reasons, people are dumping because they think they can either drive it down, or they might have their own, you know, reluctance about this, or they might just be saying, you know what, I don't want to wait another week. I only plan to do this here. I'm going to flip this and move on, you know? So again, that's it. Oh yeah, you can see all the buys. You know, there's just buy flowing through. So again, thank you very much for understanding. I understand those that might want to bail on this. I get it. You have your trading strategies. 7 days, even though we had talked about it near the beginning, can be, you know, it might be unplanned, even though we tried to set the expectation. And so, oh, you bought the dip. Ha, good job. So yeah, I hope I've repeated myself enough. Apologies. I'm going to hope you guys can help each other out in filling that in. Not to keep repeating and boring you all, I'm going to set up here that, again, full disclosure, been helping out the devs, kind of a consulting engagement with myself and Jeff. The dev has been helping out with Audit DAO. Going to be working with him there. He's excellent and doing wonderful work there. You can find him on Twitter. I've been adding him in a few places. And that's where we're going to continue working with them. Our plan is that we should be able to wrap up our testing this evening or tomorrow, and in wrapping that up, we'll be able to have a video done. I would be planning to have such a video out, I would like to say, you know, Friday or Saturday. Please pardon, as I am trying to get many things done and very busy setting up this charity for Audit DAO and getting my church incorporated as a charity to help move that along quickly. And so that's where we will be. I'll be putting out a video where we will show all of the tests that we've done, so you can understand why we were delaying here. You know, you can see that of, all right, issue, understand, apologize, and in doing that, here is what you're getting for it. Okay, so I want you to see that you're getting value for your money in that regard. Okay, and so in getting value for your money in that regard, we are going to see that it goes through, that the tests are good. We're going to demonstrate all of that in a local development environment so you can understand how it goes through. And then when you see all those tests, we'll also confirm exactly when it's going to unlock, but we'll be confirming that here. And so we can move that through. Now, again, in full disclosure, Dev has wanted to pay me for this consulting work. I've been hesitant in accepting that because, you know, I'm trying to stay impartial as an auditor, but this is a little different. I'm consulting with Jeff on offering these things up. So that's where we kind of wanted to leave it up to you guys as to whether or not we should get any, you know, compensation for helping out with this. That's where, in offering that up and trying to say you guys can decide, and you can decide whether or not yes, donors will still get early access to the pre-sale for Audit DAO. That is still true. I still have the list of that. I apologize for the delay. Did I stake my trib? I have been holding trib. I sold a bunch of trib so that I could contribute to the interest and so that I could realize some profit because, you know, I went like all fucking in and I need there's bills to pay and food to buy. And then I'm holding on to a bunch of trib. And so, yeah. But anyway, in this case, again, in setting this up, Dev has offered to pay. Get paid what the fuck. Okay, cool. Then you're saying to get paid. Where can you donate? By all means, here. For right now, to be clear, let me offer that here. So we are actually setting up and building a donation platform to handle that. So yes, we will get paid. I wanted to offer up from, oh, whoops, I apologize. Let me delete that. Let me fix that here. But in this case, to be clear, I was a little hesitant, wanted to leave it up to you guys, so glad you guys are saying to go ahead and get paid. I wanted to confirm, like, we're taking tips from you guys, okay? Thank you, I deserve that. All right, thank you for thinking I deserve that. So yeah, I'm working for tips from you guys. If that's what we wanted to offer is your call. Would you like to tip yourself? Would you like the dev to pay out of their dev portion? Would you like to, 1 hour until token unlock. 1 hour until token unlock. Are we right until 1 hour until token unlock? Are you? Hold on. Let me make sure I didn't get my time zone wrong, because we're basing this on UTC and remember daylight savings time. Okay. So again, trying to correct that. Trying to show the record here. Let me get the link here in case anyone's curious. I apologize here. I want to be clear here in what's going on. There's a link from Luna on exactly when that's happening. and they are showing 23 hours ago. So again, this is the record. This is a picture of the record here, that timestamp. That's showing 9:43 p.m. UTC. And that's where, in doing the time zone conversion from Greenwich Mean Time, or UTC, to Pacific Time, which is right now, this is the time where I am right now, it shows 2:43, which shows that we are coming up on that in 10 minutes. So I want to assure that. I've had a lot of confusion. Yeah, it's 9:37 UTC. Well, hold on. That's the lock is from when it was deposited, to be clear, okay? So yeah, UTC. And so that's where, there it is, 9:43 p.m. UTC. We have that transaction here from when that occurred. So here it is. This is when it was locked, and the time lock started from when that occurred. So to be clear, when I punch that in, see, 21:43. So 21:43 is when it got locked, UTC. And, okay, good. Luna's confirming mistake there. It's time zones. Time zones are annoying. I know. I fucking hate time zones. Trust me, as a dev, trying to deal with time zones are like the worst fucking thing we have to deal with. The only thing worse than fucking time zones is goddamn leap years. And the only thing worse than fucking leap years is goddamn leap seconds. Jesus, you have no idea how much computers freak the fuck out over leap seconds. So, yeah. Again, wanted to clear there. So, again, we got our confirmation. Cool. Double checked. I am right. Excellent. Thank you. I'm usually right, not to be clear there. So, again, offering up. We got 4 minutes. Quick one. Like I said, thank you for agreeing that I should get paid for the consulting work. Cool with that. One, full disclosure and kind of approval from you guys. Make sure there's going to be any confusion there. So that's where I wanted to offer up to you guys. You guys can send in tips if you'd like. You have the address there. You can totally make whatever donation you'd like. I also offered up as like, well, I'm not sure what the dev might have right now, and their stuff is locked up, and I do kind of bills to pay. So, if you guys are comfortable and like the idea, the dev is actually offered to match up to 15 YFMS from their stake later on. Any amount that you guys might want to donate, especially coming out of like the staking rewards that's going through. Again, your call on how to handle it. So, if you want to do that yourself and just donate directly, go right ahead. If you want to work out amongst yourselves, if you're comfortable with like picking a portion and having that come out of the staking rewards and paying me and Jeff for our work here, we're perfectly content with that. The dev has offered to pay directly. I'm a little hesitant to accept that, so we've agreed that if you guys want to do that, then we will. Oh, thoughts on adding liquidity. You know what? Let's talk about that after this unlocks, okay? We got 3 minutes. We got plenty of time. So let's let this unlock, and we'll come back to that question. We can totally do that. I kind of like that idea. But that's where, offering it to you guys, if you're comfortable with that, then the devs have agreed to match any contribution that you guys are willing to offer from either your tips or, if you agree, portion of the staking rewards to match us on that. So again, your call there. Feel free to send in tips. We are planning to put all the staking rewards in there. All right. So again, one of you. It should come out of the marketing funds. There are no marketing funds, to be honest. They don't have anything limited. They just have the staking rewards, and then they have their own. So that's where I just said, I'm working for tips from you guys. You can decide. The devs agreed to match some of that from your donations up to 15 YFMS right now. So your call if you'd like to contribute there. So we'll just, forget it. We'll just leave the staking rewards. We'll leave that all alone. Forget I said anything. I apologize. I'm just going to point out now that if you guys donate directly to me, whatever it is, then up to 15 YFMS, because that's what the dev has access right now, because they bought some on the open market, because anyone can do that, then they'll match any donation you make up to that 15. So your guys' call, feel free. We have the transaction logs, appreciate it. But that's where we got 2 minutes here where it's going to unlock. Speed up the review audit for a bounty reward. I can't speed it up. That's the problem. Because it's the word of God. Like, it's in the code. This isn't even word is law. Like, that's the thing. Everyone talks like, oh, code is law. Like, kind of, but, there's jurisprudence. A jury could always decide to vote. Like, they're not guilty even though they clearly committed the crime. You can always plead to the judge. You can always blah, but you know, you can negotiate with the law. You can't fucking negotiate with code. You can't negotiate with math. This is set in stone. This is locked. This is done. I know. I'm having a heart attack. I'm rambling, guys. I am talking. I am tense. I am like, but that's where, again, we're trying to do our best to ensure everything. So trying to work that out. I understand we cannot update it. So let's just let me riff, because I like that. I understand you understand, but like, I do have a joke I was leading up to. Pardon. That point of like, oh shit, if this is the word of God, we can't argue with the word of God. Not like we could with a court, and therefore, what do we do? You know, why? Well, we can't argue with the word of God. I can't speed this up. I can't make it happen in another regard. It's hard-coded in the code. I mean, this is kind of what my church is about, you know? We consider data the God, because, you know, if you can't have knowledge without God, and therefore, you know, all knowledge comes from God, then clearly God is data, you know? So, fuck it. At this point, because computers process data, because they use math, they're, you know, this is the word of God. There's nothing we can do about it, you know? So, yep, the staking rewards are only going to be yes, the staking rewards unlock. That's where we're moving them over to a new escrow vault. The staking was delayed. It'll be delayed at least another 7 days. You don't have to believe in God. God believes in you. Because God, right here, embodied in this code, executing his divine word. Aha! We have it! Alright! Now, heads up, we got a few seconds. There might be a slight delay because of how the block processing works. That's only a few seconds. Luna, go ahead and try to execute that transaction, and let's go ahead and watch that go through, okay? So that's where we're refreshing here, and we should see this. Alright. Yep. We'll move that through. We will get that set up. We're going to watch that. So, yep, Luna, I know you're listening. You're in the Discord, or at least the private Discord chat with me to monitor that. So we're watching that through. It'll take a little bit of delay, all right? So we don't have the transaction here, to be clear, and it's going to take a little bit of delay for that to show up because it takes time for it to execute. We got to give time for the miners to process everything, and we're doing that. But that's where, if you want, you can also see it yourself. So I want to drop that on everyone if you'd like. Here we are. We've got the Etherscan link. Am I in the Church of Technology? I am not in the Church of Technology. We've gone through a few iterations over time. Well, sorry, that's not it. Here's another place you can find that. I want you guys to follow along too. I can't, Luna doesn't talk. Luna is in chat. So, here we go. We got a link from Luna, and it looks like it has been relocked. So let us go ahead and see that. And here we are. We have YFMS Moonshot from there to, that is the contract. Let me go pull that up and confirm. Now here's the new staking rewards contract. And bam, we have it. All of it is in there. Fantastic. Beautiful, everyone. We did it. Woo! Yes! We're good. So, no rug pull, no scam. Dev did exactly as promised, so kudos to them. Whew! Reputation is saved. Yeah! So, we are good. I understand anyone. Thank you very much, everyone, for being patient. Thank you very much for understanding there needs to be a delay. I appreciate you guys understanding and accepting that, yes, this is, you know, tense, and we're trying to do the best we can to secure that. But, boom! We've confirmed. No rug pull. No diversion, exact same number that was there. We can look over at the previous and confirm that they are out. And, whoops, scrolling up. Yep, there it is. Now to be clear, dev portion is still locked, 14 more days. Can't get out of that. It's in there, totally locked, can't touch those. They're going to stay there. You have those links. It's in the new lock. It's locked for another 7 days. I promise to you that, oh, I'm sorry you want the rug. Well, look, okay, look, if you're a naughty boy and you want, like, a spanking or something, just talk to me later privately, all right? But moving on. So, in this case, yeah, we're great. Beautiful. So, again, all of it's in there. We're delayed 7 more days. I promise you that in these 7 days, we will wrap up the code. We should have that done by tomorrow, maybe, I'm going to put it at Thursday at the latest. So let's say Thursday at the latest, we have the code ready. That should give us about a day to finish our testing. So that should be, you know, Friday. We've got, for our work, for Audit DAO, oh, wow. All right, so to begin, on Saturday, we're going to be doing a live stream of the launch, or the demonstration of phase 1 of our auditable library for AuditDAO to help you guys get more secure. We're going to be launching a donation platform to take donations from you guys for AuditDAO, so you can make sure they're going directly to that. Actually, be clear here, I'm incorporating my Church of the Chain, technology words were weird, but it's okay, Church of the Chain as a nonprofit to help get AuditDAO started faster. Those in the incorporation process right now, so not sure it'll be done by Saturday, but we'll have a donation platform. You'll be able to make donations. You can send tips as for right now if you'd like over to my address. So again, I am working for tips from you guys, so just you can send that over if you'd like. Whoops. Now in this case, again, heads up, and then we'll call this one Saturday. Why is the price so low? The price is so low because people got freaked out that there was going to be a 7-day delay. And so probably either a bunch of whales tried to use it to lower the price and buy in on the dip. Some people probably decided they don't want to fucking deal with this anymore and want to flip it. They don't want to wait. But I'm telling you that we've got it in there. The code's in place. We're ensuring that the code for the staking contract's good. We're going to get that done. Saturday, I have commitment to do a tips for treats. Yes. I've got Saturday, I'm going to be doing a stream of the progress that Jeff has done so wonderfully on the AuditDAO code. We'll be launching a deployment platform. To be clear, this is starting off for my church because we're incorporating my church as a nonprofit because we can get that done a lot faster and easier than AuditDAO, okay? And so AuditDAO, we want to take time, want to get community feedback, but we also want to make sure you're safe. So incorporating church, you'll be able to donate to church if you'd like. If you're not, I understand, okay? But it's all in the goal of AuditDAO. I don't think I'm trying to pull anything. It's just AuditDAO, need to take time, need to get community votes, all of that stuff. Want to make sure we're doing it right. Church, bam, we can bang that out real quick. Now, to be clear here, since we are a church, we're still filing for the tax-exempt status that is still in place. So, to be clear, I have to state this very clearly, is that we are filing as a tax-exempt charity. So, technically, just yet, it is not approved. But, under Clause 502 of the U.S. Tax Code, donations to a church operating as a charity are tax deductible. Thing is, it's up to you, if audited, to have that proven, to make that case. To be clear, you know what, if you want information about this, the circulating supply, whatever, you can go look that up. I'm handling questions now. So, in this, to be clear, if you make donations while we're incorporating, we are a church under Clause 502 of the U.S. Tax Code. Donations to a church operating as a charity are tax deductible. Technically, because it doesn't have the approval yet, you would have to make that case if audited, but we are on track. The paperwork has already been filed. It's just not likely to be done by Saturday, therefore, might technically be on you. We're committing to getting that done by end of year, and if we're properly incorporated and tax exempt by end of year, then, boom, all of that should be tax deductible. So, just offering that out there. So, again, check it out. It's like 30. Oh, yeah, fuck you talking about something else. I don't give a shit. I'm not really hard on that. Like, whatever. People come in and chill. But, like, I don't give a shit. We're talking about this. So, YFMS, secure. Investment seems to be secure and safe. It seems to be as in that, like, it is locked up. So now it's just up to market forces and further development. We'll have that done. We should have a video out demonstrating the code that we're going to test. The code's being written and having us test that probably Sunday, maybe Monday. Need to confirm the time. I apologize that I'm not as firm on that. And then all of this happens again on Tuesday, but on Tuesday next week, we will have this transfer over to the staking rewards. I see no problems in getting that done because we will have plenty of time. We'll be able to engage and continue working with the YFMS team to make sure that's in place. All right? So, that's where I hope everyone has appreciated this. I hope you feel a lot more secure in your investment. I'm the church dog. You know what? But I can swear. My God is data. My God likes to process data. I have to work on the will of God. If the data God provides occasionally needs to come out as a fuck, that's the will of God. So, in this case, we're going to set this up. We got it all down. We're going to work with the devs. We're going to make sure this gets nice and solid and works properly. And we're going to have those demos for you to show that working on locally in development. So you can confirm all that's great. And then, oh, I'm a good puppy. Oh, good. Yay. And so that's where we will get all this straightened up. And you'll be able to see that continue on. We will have the demo so you know what the state of the code is along the way. So that way, like I said, worst case, Sunday or Monday, we should have another video out with Jeff where we're going to go through that demo, show you the test so you can know what the code is going to do and what it's going to look like when it comes out. And then we'll be back here again Tuesday, roughly the same time, to go through, watch this transfer over again, and then that will get it into the staking rewards platform, and you are off to the races, all right? So, you guys now also, there was a question in the chat of like, hey, what about possibly putting some in liquidity at the end of this week to add to that? That's entirely up to you. You can talk to the devs. You have the link to the Discord, so by all means, head over there, have that conversation you'd like. I would say talk amongst yourselves first, see what you guys can figure out, maybe figure out, you know, a voting system or whatever to handle that. And so, I think it's going to move. The price has already dropped up, or gone up. Like, that's the point. The price is on its way up right now. We took a bit of a dip because people heard about the delay. They got worried. Probably some whales decided they wanted to flip this sooner than they would be able to, so it dropped. And then now it's climbing back up. And you know how trading is. It doesn't necessarily skyrocket. It's going to swing back up. So I'm expecting over the course of this next week, probably over the course of the next few days, this thing is probably going to... I'm not a financial analyst, so I can't really say. But I think this thing is probably going to swing set itself back up and probably swing its way back up above where it was. Because hopefully, and you guys can help out, go share the video, go explain to people that a delay is a good thing because we're ensuring the code is solid and safe. So, alright, that's where it should be good. So, again, you're cool. You wanna shill other things, whatever. If you want to try to detract from this joyous day where we've avoided a rug pull, we've proven that there is no rug pull, we've proven that the devs have good intent to actually develop this and realize it fully, and so, we're great. And clear, we do have a safety in here. If something does happen, we can increment the time so we don't have to go through the stressful transfer phase like this, but I see no reason why that should be necessary, okay? So, yeah, please, like the video, subscribe, go share the tweet. You saw the tweet out there. Go retweet that to people. If anyone's trying to tell you that this is bullshit, if they're trying to tell you that reuse code is bad, if they're trying to tell you delay is a bad sign, I can understand some of that interpretation. Throw the video at them. I'm explaining, no, this is a good sign because it's a good sign because we know the devs want to get it right. Because if they didn't care about getting it right, they would just rush it out. But that's the point. They came in, they asked for advice. I brought Jeff in. We've been advising. We've been working together as a team to make sure it's clear. All the credit to the YMFS folks. They're doing the hard work. We're just double-checking things, all right? So, you will be able to put YMFS in the staking rewards platform in 7 days. Yes, 7 days from now, there will be another stream where we'll do this. This time we'll watch... Q&A. Yeah, we can do a Q&A for a few minutes. By all means, send in the questions. I'm happy to run through that. Just wanted to throw in there because I do have some things to go to, so I can answer a few of those. I'll take like another 30 minutes here if you don't mind and handle that, so feel free to drop them in. But yep, devs didn't rug pull. Devs relocked the staking token, so we have time to test and prove it. We're going to come back with video to give you an update on the progress of the development. As I said, we're probably going to have all that development and testing done over, the next day or two. There'll be time for Jeff and I to run through tests and rehearse and prepare. Then Jeff and I have our own stream on Saturday where we're launching the donation platform for our church, which we're using to help form Audit DAO a little faster. Then worst case, Sunday, Monday, I'll have a video out. We'll have another live stream where we'll show all of the tests and everything and explain exactly how this is going to work, show you how the staking rewards work, confirm that, yes, you are getting value for your patience in waiting for us, and we greatly appreciate that patience. So we don't want to just leave you hanging. So we will run through that. We will show you that demo. If everyone can get it done faster, it might even be sooner. Like, we could conceivably do this Thursday or Friday, but I don't want to commit, so I'm going to say Sunday or Monday, we'll have that. And I'm not a dev on this. Okay, I am a dev. I'm not the dev on this. All right, this is all the YMFS team. This is Commander Astra, Commander Luna in their Discord. They are doing all the heavy work. They're the ones that came up with the idea. They just approached me to ask if I would help give advice, consult, review the code, and so they've engaged me to consult in that regard. I brought Jeff in there to offer up to Jeff to say, hey, could use your help here, and we're almost done with our QA stuff, so by all means, come in. When we say explain test and QA process. So yeah, this is where, Declare, to give a little insight of what's happening, there's a lot of development tools that we can use for writing stuff out and developing things. And so with Ethereum coding, that's where You guys, yeah. That's where we have a tool called Ganache. There's also development environments of Remix and also Truffle Suite, and those things offer ways you can literally run a small blockchain on your computer. It's tiny. It's just for development purposes, and so on. Did you get your free uni? Yes, I got my free uni. So to answer that first question up there of the testing and everything. So I'll get to the how to learn to audit there. So in here, this is where the testing and dev process, developers write their code usually in either Truffle Suite or in Remix. Those are the really big popular ones, but technically they could do it in anything. In doing that, they can write out the code and they can run an application called Ganache. And Ganache is a local blockchain that they can run. It's literally a tiny little blockchain that starts off. They can define exactly what should be in there, and boom, off it goes. And so we can actually locally, without going out to the rest of the world, so on our own computers, deploy all of this code, and then we can write out tests in a programming language called JavaScript, where we can write out our own tests as scripted events that we want to have happen. So we can execute transactions against this local blockchain. We can watch all the activity going through. So that's what we're going to do for you. We are going to wrap up the development over the next day or two. With that done, we're going to take time to properly do the tests. When we get the test properly done and we confirm everything's working properly and we have it scripted, then we will be back with a video. I have no idea who will be on Binance. I don't like Binance. Binance is shitty. So that's where we'll be back. To show you that we value your patience and really appreciate it. We don't want to leave you hanging. So we're going to come back with updates and videos showing you the testing process so you can see that, yes, we are actually working. And when we come back with that video, you should see that everything is working. We can run it locally, and that's where we can even deploy it out to the blockchain early so that it's ready to go a little bit before. And then that way, next week, we'll come back just like this and flip that over and get them into the staking rewards, okay? Now, on the question here, how did I learn to audit? How to learn how to do what I do and do it myself. Okay, well, first off, I am not Uber trader. I don't really know trading. I know long-term tech investment, and I know economics. I know that may sound weird. They say I don't know trading, but I know economics, but trading is not the same thing. Trading involves a lot more analysis of people and what people are doing, so I don't do very well at that. So, how did I learn to be an auditor? To be entirely honest, I just decided I was an auditor because I started programming really young. I kind of predate the web. When I was young and first getting online, it was through my father's work connections, and so that was like the only thing you could get was either paying for like really expensive shitty modem, or you had like an ISDN or dual bonded ISDN lines out somewhere, either a very expensive ISP or directly to a business, or sometimes to a university. Or a university might literally run, a T line out to you, and then you're online. So I was able to get on from there. I started off using BBSs and access through there to universities to be able to telnet out to other places. So when I started online, it was all Telnet and Gopher and news groups, Usenet, IRC, that sort of thing. I hung around on there for years and just kind of grew up online, kept growing up on the web, kept learning to code, because I literally learned to code because I wanted to play a game. Like, my computer couldn't boot up and didn't have the drivers and everything took up too much memory, and so I needed to change the boot process. And then back then, the boot process was actually handled by a script that was very basic, crude coding, and so I had to learn that very basic, crude coding to get my fucking game to work. And I got my game to work, and then I thought, well, that was interesting, I can do cool stuff with it, and I just kept going from there. Eventually, like, in high school, I was just doing so much. Well, thank you. Do I play well with pugs? I do play well with pugs. I like pugs. I like pretty much all animals. Ducks, can't really trust ducks, but I don't want to be speciesist about it, but, ducks, their culture, the way they're raised, it's just, I don't know. I don't know, maybe there's a biological thing to ducks, too. I mean, they got that weird sex thing going on. I'm not entirely sure, but, other than ducks, perfectly fine, with most everyone. Anyway, so, in that regard, yeah, started off, just did development and coding for a while, oh, yeah, by all means, if you two, Jeff, Commander, if you want to go off and handle your things, by all means, appreciate it. Feel free to watch if you'd like, but, you know, whenever you got time, whenever you both have it, we will got plenty of time. Feel free to get sleep if you'd like. But anyway, in this case, as I was saying, can you see my question? Let me see what your question is. Will I audit YFV? YFV or YF beta? Already looked at YF beta a few times, and let me go back to them and talk. I'll just say, let me talk to YF beta and the dev and see what I can offer. I apologize, I left them hanging for a bit and hadn't come back, so I'll get out there. So, alright. Yeah, I do appreciate that, and I'll get back to that. Thank you for being patient and reminding me, so I'll come to that. I got no idea on price. I can't even comment on price. I'm not a market guy. I'm not a trading guy. I'm an economics guy. Like, I understand buy pressure, sell pressure, supply, demand, you know, inverse and whatnot. I don't know enough to predict price, really. I'm sorry. I just don't know. If I say anything, it's just going to be fucking wrong. But it's probably going to... Oh, wow. We're swinging back and forth now. So, we look like we're on the start of a nice swing set, so that should be good. Alright, so, as I was saying, to the question where I learned to audit and everything, just like I said, kept doing my trade, or kept learning to code, kept developing there. Eventually, at some point, all my IT work started getting in the way of school, so I just dropped out of high school. Like, I actually didn't technically drop, I challenged out of high school. Not GED, I just like, fuck it, give me the test, I want to get out of here. Got out of there, and I've just been working in IT ever since. Mostly handled, initially, physical penetration testing and process penetration testing. So, a lot of my youth, like growing up through my teens and like early 20s, was being employed to break into or sneak into secure facilities and then come back and tell them how that happened. Usually I worked for banks or security teams that worked for banks, so pretty much through my like late teens, 20s, I robbed banks for a living. But the banks paid me to rob the banks to then come back and tell them how I robbed the banks. And then that grew up to, I have not seen YFL. If you find, you know what, you should find me on Twitter. I think you have that. By all means, drop me the link to YFL. I'm happy to build up, but setting an expectation for everyone. I'm going to be very busy on projects. I'm going to be very busy working the audit DAO code, getting things properly incorporated, so it'll take a little while. So, but yeah, from there, pen tester. Yeah. Yep. Ethical hacker, that was exactly it. But going through that, of course, I knew all the gray hat hackers types and some of the black hats. I didn't like what the black hats were doing most of the time. You know, I was like, alright, fine. I'm not thrilled that you're cheating, like, credit card companies, but, you know, not the highest priority for me to fucking stop. Moving on. But then some of the real gray hat guys, black hat guys, like, fuck those guys, they need to go. I didn't mind the gray hat guys, because they're doing research and testing most of the time. We're actually trying to catch the bad guys, but technically they're breaking the don't like, well, fuck, I don't like you. So I just moved my work in knowing law enforcement and having to liaise with them as the penetration tester, because, you know, I could easily get robbed, like get arrested robbing a bank, you know, so I'd have to give them warnings of what's happening and set them all up so they're aware of what's going to happen if they get that call. But from there, I took my relationship there and started like pointing out black hats that I thought were going way, way too fucking far, and just kind of continued turning into various ne'er-do-wells in the hacking world and trying to explain to law enforcement they should leave the gray hats alone because they're doing good. And then, like, moving on, just kind of continued from there. At a certain point, I got fed up and tired, especially when 9/11 happened, because the entire intelligence and law enforcement community changed gears, understandably, and there wasn't anything left for me to do because no one gave a shit. And so then I just kind of meandered around for a little bit in a semi-retirement, and then moved over to helping various people that I'd like mentored over the years get their companies off the ground, various CEOs that had big issues and needed a guy to come in and help out. So I just kept iterating through that and kept, you know, helping things out in a sort of like semi-working retirement. Didn't really give a shit about money, so I burned through a lot of that. So, you know, I'm kind of technically broke, but I turn over enough revenue that I can generally keep going. And then there's this, and now I'm with you guys and doing this for tips, and I love it. I'm doing it for tips because I want to make sure there's no conflict of interest. You are my customers. The dev are not my customers. You are, so I serve you guys. Hence, I take the money from you, not from the devs. I'm not even taking money. I'm asking you, if you find any of this valuable, please just send me a tip. I greatly appreciate that. Some fans have been very, very generous in helping out. That has really helped cover the cost on the audit DAO development and for getting properly incorporated as a nonprofit. So you guys have been big helps. I can't say the deductions the donations are tax deductible yet. We're still in the process of incorporating, but I do work for a church, and the church does operate as a charity. And technically, under Clause 502 of the tax code, donations made to a church that is operating as a charity, it can be claimed as a tax deduction, but it is not pre-approved, so it would be on you to justify that. Mind you, we are taking those donations and we are running off, and we're actually, the incorporation paperwork is being processed, and so we're setting up and incorporating the church properly, so all those donations should be tax deductible from there, and then we're going to move on to incorporating Audit.eth as a nonprofit charity, also tax deductible, and our aim is hopefully to get that done by end of year. If we can't, because I want to make sure it's done perfectly, we got a lot of teams interested, we'll move forward. So, top 3 DeFi projects. I'll give you 4, because one of them is a DeFi infrastructure project, and then I'll close it there. I think I got all the various questions there. Like I said, haven't seen YFL, please drop me a link on Twitter, I'll try to get to them. I can't promise anything. Ghost is going to follow Path of Meme, don't know what the fuck those are, sorry. I kind of don't give a shit about NFTs that are art. I'm not judging, it's just not my thing. So I don't pay attention to them all, but I do have ideas for NFTs for data, but you'll see demos of that coming up. I'll get back to the YF Beta people. Sorry I dropped the ball on that one. I haven't been following them, just got very big, so boom, we'll move that through. I cannot move it faster than 5 days, sorry, or 7 days. It cannot be faster than 7 days. We have that hard-coded in the code as an assurity to you guys, so there's a commitment, there's nothing that can happen, and so boom, 7 days. I will answer the one on Deus in just a second. So the top 3 DeFi projects. I'll give you 4 because one of them is an infrastructure project. So 1, obviously, YFMS. Duh. I'm consulting with the devs, and I'm watching this one go through. Beautiful. I actually am still bullish on excuse me, on YF Beta. I know it's been rocky, so maybe I'll save them from the list. But yeah, I still think they're there. I think the devs have good intent. They're just junior and stuff. As far as big ones going forward, I know we sound like bullshit, but I think I'll have to split that between C-Vault, Core Vault. I'll find a link here and actually can drop that in the chat because people will always want to know. And I always tell people, if you mention something, why are you giving me this ticker symbol? You know, I need a link to actually go find things. So yeah, I'm still obviously bullish on YMFS. Duh. I am liking what I'm seeing from Core Vault. Core Vault seems to be following a model very similar to, very similar to, Jesus, I'm almost broke. Fuck. Alright, guys. I'll figure this out. Alright, anyway. But yeah, I'm still bullish on YM Beta. Obviously bullish on YFMS because I'm working on that one. Also, like Core Vault and like Trib. I know Trib did not work out as people expected, but I always said it's a very long-term play, like your retirement savings, which means you sit on it for the next 20, 30 years, you know? So it was never intended to be a quick flip, but it was designed such to entice the whales to come in for their quick flip and then manage that to make that profitable. But I got slated to do a report and proper economic model and actually to pull the code for Contribute and do some tests and things, like really run through some scenarios where we like simulate this thing running for like 20 or 30 years and see where that's going. So yes, thank you for recommending people donate. I greatly appreciate that. All of this helps. To be clear, the donations that are coming in are going to fund the incorporation of charities to continue scaling this work. For the person that asks, how can you be an auditor? That's part of our goal. In setting up as a charity and a nonprofit, we want to be able to get donations, make those tax deductible to the community, be able to offer that to businesses, make those tax deductible, so that way we can make sure that we're not competing with anyone, we just want to cooperate, and our full intention is to offer educational services. So we want to educate developers, educate auditors, we want to have you guys give us feedback on what you want to see in such a process, what would make you feel secure, so you're going to get to help define what the certification standards are for developers and auditors. Now, we're not trying to keep anyone out of the market. It's wide open. Anyone can do whatever the fuck they want. That's the beautiful thing about all of this. Anyone can deploy the blockchain, but we'd like to have a way that you can have some assurity, that you can let developers and auditors know this is what we want to see from you guys. That way you can tell them, not as a promise, but like, look, if you do things like this, if you conform to the Audit.eth standard that you guys will help define, and the economics works out, we're going to pick you over some, degen project, because we're still trying to go degen, But we just like to give that assurity to you guys of like, yeah, look, this is what you said will look good, this is what you said will be reasonable, and we're going to make sure that the devs coming through our process are going through this, and the auditors are doing that. And so that's where all these donations are going right now. And so in that case, you're going to have the way to offer that information. We're going to have the code in there to blanket secure. And that leads me to the last project. So again, I like YF Beta, obviously like YMFS, because I'm working on that. Obviously, again, consulting. They're doing all the heavy lifting. Still like Trib, because I find an interesting model, and I like the idea of that long-term savings plan. So Trib is still decent. In the case of Trib, I think I'm going to do some videos where we do some long-term models, build that out, simulate what it runs like for like 10, 20, 30 years, and see how that plays out. I like Core Vault here, that I dropped the link to earlier. They're doing something similar, where they're actually, I need to dig into the code and see where it's happening, but I was glancing at some of the transactions that it looks like this is taking. Basically, they're doing a pre-sale where the money that you funnel in is actually going off and making profit under their profit scheme, and then when they come back and do the pre-sale, you'll have tokens, and they'll have built-up liquidity, built-up profit, and so the price should already be there. So it looks very much like Core Vault is kind of copying Trib in that regard, and I really like this model, and we're going to talk about that more later on. And then the last final point, and then unfortunately I'll have to go here because I got things to do. Last one is, I really like Team Finance. I really like Team Finance for one big reason. One, they already did their coin, so that's out there, so this isn't even showing something to come, alright? But Team Finance, they're not a direct DeFi project. You're not going to, like, stake money in Team Finance and make money. No, no, no. The reason I like Team Finance so much is that they saw a gap in the market just like I did. So what they're doing is building a bigger, better, more configurable Unicrypt. So they saw the idea of Unicrypt, they said, great, you're lovely, but you're not going anywhere, you haven't done anything. And now you might have seen before when I was talking about Unicrypt on Twitter way back when, and kind of caused them to freak out and issue another coin to get another round of funding. So I don't really like Unicrypt. And the product's fine, the code's fine. The team that's managing it, I'm just not thrilled in how they're managing things. They seem to be mismanaging the project a bit, so whatever. I really like Team Finance, and with Team Finance, how to invest in Team Finance? You buy the team coin. But to be clear, they already did their pre-sale, but we are to offer this. So don't think you missed out, and don't think that I'm giving you a bad deal here. But they did their sale. So to be clear here, you can go buy Team. Buying Team is probably going to go up in price, so by all means. Two, I like them because, as we see, they've got this more involved platform to lock tokens. And so basically all the stuff that we just went through, all the code that the YMFS team wrote to try to lock these tokens, Team Finance is building a platform for that. And we, for Audit DAO, my church first, because we're still forming Audit DAO, the code we're writing, we are going, our finished product, our finished code library that we're offering out for free, not charging for the use of, it's open source, freely available, we're doing this as a charity, that will integrate first with Team Finance. So our MVP, what we're going to call our first release, will be a process where a developer can take our code library, include it in their contract code. When they deploy that out, they'll include the configuration to say, okay, here's the auditor wallet address, so you know who's going to audit this when it gets deployed, even if the audit's like in a few days or something. Here's, if there needs to be an owner address, here's a DAO address for, the voting system. If we're going to be integrating that, that'll technically be optional. And further, here is configuration on where all the tokens should go. So that way when they deploy their code, they don't have to write the code to secure those. Two, they're not in control of those things for depositing liquidity and so on. And so that way, by integrating our secured auditing library so that we can deploy code in a deactivated state and we can audit that, then it very likely could hit the floor price, but understand the floor price keeps rising, and as people keep buying in and out and selling, that keeps raising the floor price. And so that's why I'm saying, like, I think Trib is still a long-term play for 20 or 30 years. But you know what? Let's save the conversation in Trib. I'm going to do a video. I'm going to run some analysis and models on it where we can simulate, like, 10, 20, 30 years of involvement. I have another audience member that's reached out to me on Twitter. I reserve saving names because I don't know if people want to be mentioned or whatnot. But they brought those points up to me. We're going to work through the models, and boom. So, main point here. Team, our goal here is we'll have our auditable library. Code can go out in a deactivated state, so it cannot operate. If trading cannot happen while it's on the blockchain, that way we have time to do the audits as I think is appropriate, only by decompiling code off the blockchain until we can get a verifiable process for deploying that. But in that, we'll be able to go through the audit for the code off the blockchain, approve it as audited. It's like, yep, we have audited successfully, that's good. And in doing that, then the dev will be able to have control to turn it on to activate. That'll be the only thing that's basically ringing market bell, essentially. They can open the trading on their contract on whatever schedule they need after it's been approved to be audited. And then that's where, upon doing that, the library will help integrate them with team finance. So as their pre-sale is going on, whatever the terms of the pre-sale is, whatever the economic strategy or profit scheme for that contract is, do they need liquidity? Do they need to place it in a vault? What do they need to do? Do they have team tokens? Not a lot of options on team finance, but that's the whole point, is that they can handle that to say through our library and the integration. Once the audit's done and the pre-sale's going on or whatever the scheme is, then the funds that should be funneled for various purposes can be placed in team finance to safeguard them. Stuff that should be sent over to liquidity pools can be deposited there. So this way, once the sale's going on, the dev can be hands off and there's no risk of the audit there. Did get the question on Deus. So one, let me give a blanket question on auditing any more projects. I'm not taking any more projects. I'm trying to keep up with the ones that I have as they're going through development so I don't let you guys down. But I can't take on any more until I have the auditable process done. Any time spent auditing other things is time taken away from continuing the audit process. And so I just need to get that done. Sorry, nothing to say there. I have to wait. I have to get that done because then I can come back and properly audit other stuff going forward. Okay, so sorry there. On the question of Deus, I don't like Deus. I don't like Deus because when I was reading their white paper, it's full of buzzwords and terms. Yes, they're put in the right order, but there's no hard numbers. They don't explain exactly how things are going to work. They explain what like buy and burn is. They explain what some of the components are, as in like these are what the terms mean. It's like, okay, give me your formulas. Oh, you gave me a formula. Okay, cool. Where are you getting the numbers for this formula? Like, how is this occurring? All you did was give me a basic bonded price curve formula. That's all it is. So, like, their white paper, completely empty. It's, as far as I'm concerned, their white paper is a marketing brochure. Their website, I know where people want to decry stuff like this, or stuff like the YFMmoonshot.com. YFmoonshot.com. People want to look at this and be like, this isn't slick and pretty. This looks bad. Like, you guys obviously don't know anything about coding. It takes work to make it code like this. Like, this is not easy stuff to have written out, So this is a bit harder. So the fact that when I looked at Deus, that's literally a WordPress template. Like, oh, I've seen this template before. So the folks that put together sites like YF Moonshot, YF Beta, put together Core Vault, these guys, they know how to write a website, because it's harder to make a website do stuff like this than it is to do what Deus does and grab a WordPress template, throw it up, throw some graphics in there, and make it all slick. So, combined with the fact that the Deus white paper has no meat in it, there is no, like, solid data. I don't know how the fuck they're working. I just have concepts and strategies. Not thrilled. The fact that their website may look all flashy and professional, but I know that's just a fucking template that anybody can get for free. I mean, anybody who doesn't know anything about coding could have thrown up the Deus site, so fuck that. And I know that for a fact because and this is what clinched me on Deus, that I don't give a fuck about them. Right along the side that I called Pluton as a scam is because their pre-sale was handled by sending Ethereum to a standard wallet. They didn't even have a fucking pre-sale contract. I'm like, come on, guys. We got some kids down in South America on YF Beta writing a pre-sale contract. We got YMFS here writing a fucking pre-sale contract. Like, Trib wrote a pre-sale contract. Core Vault wrote a pre-sale contract. Like, come on. And these guys don't claim to have the funding of the relationship that Deus does. So it's like, I'm sorry. Now, no offense to Planner, but like, you're a small team. And you're not claiming to have the partnerships and relationships that Deus does. So, like, if these guys could write a proper pre-sale, why the fuck couldn't Deus? Why the fuck was Deus following the plan of Pluton and having send addresses directly to a wallet? And if you're wondering how I know that, pro tip, and I'll close this off here with that final question. Go to blocksy.info. So let me drop that link for you. This is something you should do. Always, always, always. When we say do your research, this is what we fucking mean. Or actually, maybe not. This is what I fucking mean, okay? When other people say, yes, I'll try to get to the data, try and get this to the devs for YF data as quickly as possible. If you understand that you are requesting delay. I know, we are, but that's the only thing we can do. I apologize. We could add I understand you thank for that. I understand you're not being harsh. And that's why I'm saying, like, this is the best compromise we can do. I'm sorry. And thank you for being patient and understanding where we are. And so, yes, we're going to be running through that. I'm going to be getting the videos out to ensure that, because I want you guys to understand that we're trying to be careful. We're trying to secure your investment, and therefore apologize for this delay. YFMS is, yeah, it is, but forks are fine. Reusing code is fine, because, you know, if I take somebody else's code and I either integrate with different tools, like YFV is Yearn, but it talks to Balancer. Or, sorry, it's staking through Balancer. Like, okay, well, that's a significant difference. I don't give a crap that you reuse portions of the code. You know, if you take YF beta and then you change the burn rate, that's a significant change, you know? If you integrate with other platforms so that you're handling different points, that's a significant change. So, yes, fork, but they change the critical parts, in my opinion. But I could spend forever talking about that. We'll save that for another time. I can go into, like, the whole history of Red Hat and open source development, and why, to be entirely honest, to throw at anyone, like, I'm not saying it's you, but, like, anyone wants to say reused or forked code is bad and a bad sign of a project, I'm just going to throw out that, like, the New York Stock Exchange, NASDAQ, AWS, Amazon, Microsoft, Google, Red Hat. Red Hat is so successful at using reused code and making so much money off of it that IBM had to buy Red Hat in order not to go bankrupt. That would be AT&T, Sprint, T-Mobile, and that's Sprint at the highest levels, the backbone service providers, not Sprint, the cellular service alone. That would be Walmart, Kmart. No, Kmart's dead. Fuck them. Walmart. That's whole FIAM. Walmart. That's where literally the SEC, FTC, and the fucking Pentagon run on reused code. So I'm not trying to I'm not dumping on you. Like, please don't take it personal. But, like, anytime someone wants to bring up, oh, is this thing a fork or not? Like, I think you're asking to understand what's going on, and that's cool. I'm just giving the heads up to anyone that if anyone says, oh, it's just a fork, then it's like, well, what's the part they changed? I mean, are you trying to say that we shouldn't have, like, Dodge Rams because they're a fork of an F-150? So it kind of is, in the sense that it's following a similar model of a buy and burn process. But I don't even want to say it's a fork. You know, there's a few economic models, there's a few reuse here, and so please don't worry. In fact, if finding out it's a fork, that should be, I say that is a good thing. Much the same way that if I find out that, like, a company has forked Red Hat software, that's a good thing, because that's good software. And if then they change some critical part, even better. We're good. So, yeah. I would put them equivalent. As it is right now, they're doing things slightly differently from each other. And in doing things slightly different from each other, that gives us a good distinction in the market, which actually then gives us good coverage in the market for different effects. So when you're coming down to, when you're looking at a fork and you're like, oh, should I buy one or the other? My response is both. Like, if they're doing something pretty close, I've said, is it a YF beta or not? Like, I've already told you, like, yes, they are reusing code, but they're changing the most significant parts that it's a different product. The same way that, like, a Dodge Ram truck is a different product from an F-150, you know? Or that, like, a Lambo is a different product from a Ferrari. Like, they're both cars, they're both, like, high-end sports cars, but there's significant difference in the details. So, yes, YFMS is related and similar to YF Beta, but it has changed significant portions of that platform. Much the same way that Core Vault is similar to Trip, but they've changed significant portions in the code. So again, similar but made portions. Hey, you know, it's building back up. It's going to swing its way back up. So I think it's going to swing its way back up, but we'll see. I appreciate everyone that came through. One last point, and I'll close off here, is when what I'm saying do your own research, I'm saying do things like this. So when people are asking about Deus and why I don't like Deus, that's because, for an example, Deus ran their pre-sale through a regular wallet. As an example, I can just grab my wallet address here, and I can drop that into Bloxy. And this is what I'd recommend anyone do. Anyone, literally, anytime you're curious about a project, you're curious about getting into, okay, I will answer that one question there in just a moment. I just want to finish this tip. Anytime you are looking at anything, anytime someone is saying, oh, here's a pre-sale, if they can't give you a contract address, fuck them. If you're not sure how to get to, oh, there's the Pavlovian ding, gotta collect my bat. If they can't give you a contract address, fuck them. Or whatnot, then so on. Now, is it a go for me or not? I'm not sure. Like, I'm fine with YF Beta, and I'm fine with YFMS. Like, I don't know what... Okay, cool. Anyway, if you listen, then I've been saying these words. I don't know how else to say it to your satisfaction, dude. Like, I've explained it several times, so whatever. Is it a go for me or not? Like, I can't give you advice. I'm a tech guy. I don't know trading. I know some basic economics, so I would say both. All right, if people, I'm just gonna have to make that rule. Like, if people keep asking me what's the price or which one you recommend, like, I will talk tech. I can't talk price, and then I can bullshit about economics. But I'm gonna leave that up to you. Sorry, I can't tell you what to do. I literally can't. Like, I can say things and you won't do them, or maybe you will. I don't know. But anyway, here for this, if you are ever wanting to do research, when we say do your own research, go to bloxy.info. I dropped that link there. Take the contract address that they have given you and say, oh, well, this is my pre-sale contract. Cool. Come in and search in Bloxy. And then find out, what the fuck are you? And like, oh, it's a regular wallet address. And this is what I did with Pluton. This is what I did with Deus. I just dropped him in here to see what's going on and said, oh, you're a regular wallet address. And I was like, oh, we're done. We're fucking done. You can't even write a pre-sale contract. Fuck off. We're done. No rug pull. There is no rug pull on YF Beta. There is no rug pull on YFMS. The tokens are locked. There is the staking rewards will be out in 7 days when the tokens unlock, and we can transfer that over, and that's it. We're good. So we're solid. I understand the delay. I apologize for it. I'm sorry, but we wanted to make sure it was solid, and rather than rush things, we wanted to make sure that, you know, we could get things out properly. And already, look, the price is like significantly recovered from where it was. So, you know, it's already at that 150 now. From the about 200 that it was earlier. It looks like it's flipping up. Yes. So, meta tip. Yes, meta tip. Go to Bloxy, put in the contract address, you can see what's here. Go to Etherscan, put in the contract address, you can see what's here. That's where you can see what's happening and be like, oh, okay, they brought in this, they sent out that, they did these other things, okay. And so if you want to see what's happening, like, I really love this. You know, just as a case here, like for YFMS, right here, there's a holders tab right here. When you bring a smart contract or a token contract, it has that. There's a holders tab right there. You can see who holds them, and you can see that graph. And like right now, we can see that the significant holders are these two, and these portions make up, and they're held, that is the two time lock escrow vaults that are holding the tokens that the devs are going to offer as the staking rewards and are going to take as their reward. So those are locked up. That's why the significant portion there. So love this. Yeah, it is really neat. It's fantastic. So yeah, anytime you got a pre-sale, come over to Bloxy, drop the address in. If it shows you like it shows you here where it says, oh, a regular wallet address, fuck it, we're done. That's not a pre-sale. That's a scam. We're out. Don't even touch it. Don't even look at it. Just fuck it. Walk away. I don't care how successful it is. Any team, like that's why I don't like Deus, because like the team claiming to be able to do what they say they're going to do, then running their pre-sale by just sending funds to an Ethereum wallet, like fuck you guys. No, that's not how this goes. So if people got their Deus, fine, but understand that it didn't go through a proper contract, it didn't go get locked. So even if those guys are following through and they sent you your Deus, even if there's liquidity locked and it's able to go through, I don't care. Like, it seems like a long con to me. I really don't think those guys are going to deliver the product, because if they're claiming to be working with Zoracles, and Zoracles claims to confirm, but even then, I'm not entirely sure that's the real Zoracles account, because it's spelled with a 0. Like, okay, I'm not sure that you're actually the company's Zoracles. So I'm actually wanting to go out and find out and talk to Zoracles myself. I'm going to go straight to the corporate line and find out what's happening there. How to look at... All right, so to be clear, for anything, I have not looked at any of the projects. I'm not looking at any of their projects. No offense. I got to get my auditing code done. Jeff has been helping out immensely, but I got to get back in and work on that. And I got to integrate with Team Finance and any other platforms that'll lock liquidity so we can give you secure trades. So I'm sorry to disappoint, but I have to say I could either spend time running around like this haphazard as one doge on the internet trying to audit these projects, or I could take some time out, get you a secure process, be able to teach some other auditors, and then scale out so that this can happen more. And I got lots of people that are interested in learning, lots of people that want to contribute, so I apologize that I can't get to projects in the meantime. I'm sorry. You're going to have to do your own research in these regards. I can understand wanting to delay. There's a lot of time in the sector, a lot of room to grow, so don't worry about missing out on some moonshot. And then when I come back, first, I'm going to do the demo here of showing the code here to give you some value for your dollar on being so patient and waiting. So we're going to show you that, yes, we are working. We're going to get those updates out. We're going to give you a video of testing the code so you can see the YFMS code. And that's it. That's the only content that I'm putting out until we have our process done, really. Apart from maybe some interviews, we're going to have our demos where we show the phases. But I'm not trying to be mean. I'm not trying to let anyone down. I have to prioritize, and I can't properly audit anything until I have this code done that we can include. But that's also, to give a little tip, all right? All right, so this is an alpha tip for anyone that's stuck around. I know a bunch of people left and a bunch of people aren't happy, so here's a real alpha tip for you guys. We just want to keep this like, shh. I haven't signed an NDA, so technically I'm not required to keep quiet about things. And these guys didn't ask, so technically I'm not giving anything out, okay? But, heads up. We're asking about projects to be really bullish on. I was keeping this one. 1, Team Finance. I'm specifically writing my auditing library to first integrate with Team Finance, and then we'll go talk to UniCrypt and anyone else that locks liquidity so we can integrate with them. So Team Finance, good. 2, number 2 there. Yeld has specifically come and asked me to assist with developing their platform, and they specifically said that our timeline for releasing our secure auditing library and integration with Team Finance will coincide with when they plan to release the enhancements and advance on their platform. So I'm talking to Yeld, just like I've been working with YFMS, helping, double check their code and offer some advice on designs. We'll be doing the same thing with Yeld, and Yeld has agreed that provided we can hit that, let me go find that. Here, I'll get that up here. I'll pull that up and I will make that the case. But yeah, that's where Yeld.finance. Whoops. Yeah, YELD. Let me just double check the links here and drop that on you, and I'll drop and I'll drop that on the Discord here because I also have that. So I'm not trying to drive people away from YFMS. YFMS, working with them, also working with Yeld. Okay, so Yeld and YFMS, operating with them. That's where they put their link to their Discord. I'll find that, but I'm sure you can find that. You can also add them on Twitter. Ah, yes, here it is. So yeah, there's their Discord, if you'd like, and there's their Twitter. All right. So again, making the point here, I'm agnostic. I work with everyone. I don't really give a shit. But that's the case here. Is Yeld's also, just like YFMS, has asked for me to help out and give some advice on design and confirm implementation, help them run through tests. Way Yeld has asked for the same thing, and they say that we're on schedule to be able to hit the deadline. So Yeld right now should be the very first real project, real live DeFi project, because Team Finance isn't really a DeFi project. They're more a DeFi infrastructure project that's helping secure your investments. Yeld, first DeFi project that's going to go through our full auditing process. So they're the first ones. They've agreed. We're going to coordinate on schedules. So long as we can both hit each other's schedules reasonably well, and we should have no problem with that, we're even agreeing to help each other out on developing things, then we're going to get Team Finance's platform out, help them with that, and they're going to help us with the library. And then Yeld, we're going to turn right around and run them through our auditing process to get Yeld out and have that happen. All right, and so that should then give time with YFMS that later on we can come back and be like, well, great, you got your staking rewards out, helped you out there, got Team Finance out, helped out there. Both have been very kind to help out with our auditing library, continue on to do an audited release of Yeld following our new process. Great. They've also offered to help out, so we'll have some partnerships there and relationships. And then, boom, continue on, fully plan to do the same thing with YFMS. And I'm going to go talk to YF Beta, but I know you guys have been waiting a long time on YF Beta, so I'm not entirely sure. I got a list of other projects that have talked to me. that want to help out and go through this. I'm trying to prioritize the ones that'll get the most value to you guys first, and the ones that we can meet on schedule first. So again, that pro tip, I like YF Beta, going to be contacting them, see if I can help. I like YFMS, working with them, helping confirm things, and yeah, Yeld and Team Finance. That's the first one. So again, my list of things that I like, and I like them because I'm working with them, and I'm working with them because I like them. You know, I believe what they're doing, and I like it. That would be, I'm bullish on YF Beta. I'm going to go talk to YF Beta. Need to get back to them, help out, if they're open to it. Feel free to ask me if you'd like me to help out. I mean, I'm perfectly happy with that. I apologize that I dropped the ball on that and got very busy. But I'll go back and try to help out there. YMFS, they want me to keep helping. I'm going to keep doing that. Again, they're doing the heavy lifting. I'm just kind of double checking and giving some advice. And we're going to continue on through that. And we're going to get the staking projects out. We're going to finish the auditable library to give you a secure auditable process. Okay? Then from there, once we have the secure auditable process out, we're going to use that to deploy the team finance platform that can help give you security on locking liquidity, locking team tokens, providing automated dispersals to various liquidity platforms, trading platforms. So that way you have a completely clean, secure deployment and pre-sale process where you don't have to trust the devs to go through with anything. There can't be a rug pull because everything was set in code at the time it was deployed, and the auditor was able to go through the code and verify that everything worked before trading even opened. So there you go. And so that's where we'll have that in place, and then from there we're going to keep iterating. And so right after that, our slated premiere release with that one is going to be Yeld Finance. So Team Finance, we're going to help them get out. They're going to help us get the library out. Then we're going to turn over and help out Yeld. Already talked with Yeld. They want to help us develop the library. We're going to help them improve their platform, get the security all in place, and do all of that. And then from Yeld, we are just, well, depending on the timing, we'll come back and help out YMFS at that point. But at that point, we are off to the races because we have a secure system. It's reliable. It's secure and reliable enough that I think I can reliably trust and train people on doing it, so we can start training through more developers. So if anyone's interested in being a developer, anyone's interested in being an auditor, I'm going to prioritize people that already know the code, so we don't have to teach that. But we're extending off to, like, if you don't know anything, we'll have training programs available. So anyone wants in, message me on Twitter, be patient, I will get through that. So again, we work for tips. This is, I am working for charity here. So we'll have all in place. As far as Y-Fuel, to be honest, I never got around to looking at Y-Fuel. I'm sorry. And I am sorry to say that unfortunately I can't take time out to get to them until I have these other processes done. And in getting those other processes done, unfortunately, I'm going to have to I need to prioritize and give due respect and deference to the teams that are working with us. All right. And so in all of that, where the fuck was I? Oh yeah, there was. So yeah, in all of that, I would like to get to YF Fuel. If you guys can help me out, okay, here's one that you guys can help me out with. If you do want me to look at a project when we have this out, okay, then yeah, thank you very much, Luna. I appreciate you being here and sitting through it. By all means, go. You guys have been magnificent. Get some sleep. I know it's been a long, arduous task for you. You really tried to hit the deadline, and thank you very much for letting me delay that on behalf of the community so we can make sure we have everything secure and I can make sure all the testing is in there. So you guys are fantastic. So yeah, with that in place, any donations you send will help speed it along so I can pay for stuff faster so I don't have to delay things. Two, where if you want me to work on any projects, develop anything, then please, does not allow tips here. Then all right, so hold on. All right, so that, to be clear here, is what I put in there, the cyotee.eth and the cryotee.crypto, those are wallet addresses. If you're not familiar, there's services called Unstoppable Domains and services called ENS. And both Unstoppable Domains and ENS allow you to create vanity names like this. So those are my vanity wallet addresses. They actually direct to the real wallet addresses. If you're unsure of that and you don't, you're not sure what that's a real thing, then there you go. You can put that in there. Why did YMFS people remove liquidity before the announcement? I don't. What are you talking about? There's no liquidity removal. I don't know what you're talking about there. So let me see. We go to uniswap.info. Like, I'm not sure what the hell you're talking about. That didn't. like 99% sure that didn't happen. So let me go ahead and take a look here and confirm. Here we are, pairs. We do a search here for YFMS. Now to be clear, are you talking about the real YFMS or are you talking about the fake YFMS? This looks like the fake YFMS. And this is why I hate fucking Ethers or Uniswap like this, because they don't show good points. I think this is... No, this is also the fake YFMS. God damn it. Why do you have to do this? Alright, you know what, here. I'll go look at the tokens and then we can find our look here. I'm going the wrong way around. So, yeah, no, I think what you're looking at was not the real YFMS. There's technically see, there's two fake YFMSs out there. Alright? So, if you're curious about this one, let me just drop that on you. So, if anyone's come in and they're curious what's going on and why that's the case, one, this is the fucking contract address for actual YFMS. Know that there's two fake YFMSs out there. So fuck those guys. There's the real contract to YFMS. The contract up above is the one to my wallet for tips. And if you go over here, you can see in Uniswap that, nope, the liquidity is still there. There's this pair right here. And if you take a look here, it's going through everything. In fact, we can see right now, holy shit, in running through here, where is that? It's still pulling the numbers, but I think it was showing there was like a 400% profit in the tokens. But anyway, there it is. So there you are. Some liquidity was removed and re-added. Well, you know what? Anyone can add liquidity. So, I don't know. But as you can see, most of this is here. So, given the fact that anyone can add liquidity, and you can't, like, if you have transaction logs and can prove it was the devs, I'm happy to go through that and investigate. But I'm just throwing out there that, like, you know, I'm not sure which one you're talking about, to be sure. And I'm not sure which one you're wanting to get. So, here's the link to the appropriate pool. I'm not doubting you. I'm just saying that, you know, there is the link to that gives you the information on the real YFMS and has the links to either add liquidity or buy or trade. So just offering that. Not saying you're wrong, not saying you're correct. I'm just offering my insight of, or I'm not saying you're bad or anything. I'm just doing that. I'm just offering my insight that I think how I'm interpreting information is either some other person pulled their liquidity, because anyone can offer that, and or look on add and remove on real one. Okay, sure. I'm not saying it didn't happen. I'm just throwing out there that the add and the remove of liquidity, anyone can do that. So, like, that's literally anyone. And we did have a bunch of whales in on this thing. So I'm just trying to point out here is, like, trying to point and say, oh, some big whale pulled their liquidity, or somebody pulled a lot of liquidity. Like, okay, I don't know what to do with that. Like, anyone can do that. So what? I'm not trying to cry your point. It's just like, I can't do that. Like, anyone can do that. I can't stop that. I can't track it. Like, I just whatever. So anyway, so yeah. Go on add and remove tabs. All right, hold on. We've got adds and removes. We have here. Yep. Sorry, we've got the adds here. So removes. Let me set the time here. So that was 3 hours ago. 3 hours ago, looks like some wallets, B92D, and I believe we actually just had a mention from Commander Luna. Oh, here we are. I apologize. All right, so we did have a clarification here. Thank you very much, Luna, for coming in and clarifying. So we have an answer. I wasn't trying to dismiss earlier. I was just like, I'm not really sure. Here's some scenarios of what could happen. So we have this here that because of the announcement, they pulled some of the liquidity so that way, while we were doing this announcement of the delay, whales couldn't dump on you guys too hard, and then they put them right back in. All right, cool. And for the one that was finding that, I can see what you're looking at, because like right there's the wallet addresses that did it. So good job since you were looking at the added removes and you were double checking the wallets. Okay, good job that you confirmed that. I apologize. Probably should have, like, just to help me out, because you know I got to keep up and I don't know what's going on. You know, let people know these things of like, hey, this is what I found. That way I don't get caught up in this, well, I'm not sure what your research is. I hear a lot of things. I got a lot of fudsters running around. I got a bunch of shills that fucking hate me. So I'm not saying you're that. Obviously you're not. It looks like you did your research, so thank you. But to offer some help, point that out. But as you can see, it looks like liquidity came out and went right back in. And it looks like that was done during the announcement, and it was done kind of so that the whales couldn't dump on you too hard and fuck that up. So it looks like it came out, looks like it came right back in. We've got, yeah, if I look at the numbers here and look at what's placed back in, yeah, pretty much. So, again, you guys make your own choice. It looks like it was a safety measure. Looks like it was announced on Discord and Telegram, so there you are. So sorry about that. I apologize for the uncertainty. I apologize for the confusion. We're learning from this. We're working and iterating a process. We're trying to make this better for you. We're trying to make that secure. That actually, this brings up a point that I might want to talk with Team Finance, is having a secure way as like a whale safety. That if the community decides or want to help, then like maybe we can have a secure way to pull liquidity real quick, as in a secure manner, so that nobody can run off with it. It's, like locked up in Team Finance and on a time delay. It's up to the DAO, for example. And that way, if a DAO decides, okay, we're going to make a big project announcement, we want to protect against whales dumping, here we can issue the call. The announcement will go out. There will be a time delay, but we'll talk about that. Anyway, I've been rambling on. You guys are beautiful. I really appreciate the feedback. I appreciate the people that are doing the work. I want to find that guy who got to be in Fluid and Etherscan for this shit. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. And that's why I pointed out Bloxy, ITV Hub. One, want to give you give you a wrench. So one, thank you for bringing this up. Thank you, ITV Hub, for going through accepting the explanation. Thank you for bringing up an honest question that you did do research on. So, you weren't just speculating. You weren't just throwing FUD around. So I really appreciate that. I love that all my fans, the audience, the community we're building here, you're trying to help each other, you're trying to share information, and you really just want like a fair and not thieving market. So I absolutely love that. So again, thank you all for looking out for each other, making sure people have information, making sure to share. So this is fantastic. I want to keep this going. That's why the charities are coming in. So again, you have, sorry as I shill a whole bunch, but I am working for a goddamn charity. So, wow. Okay. Wow. All right. Been getting donations. Fantastic. That's beautiful. So, yeah. Again, there's the direct wallet address. In here, again, if you want these are my vanity domain. These are my vanity wallet names. They are purchased through ENS and purchased through ENS and Unstoppable Domains, so they will work. They'll work in MetaMask. You can literally just put those values in there. They won't let me buy the properly spelled Coyote, because apparently that's a reserved name. They're not selling it yet, so whatever. But yeah, in that case, you can use either of those. They'll work fine. And so yeah, so with that, I think I've answered most of the questions. I apologize if I've missed any. I got a lot of stuff to do, and it's been a hectic morning and very stressful. Thank you very much for sticking around. Thank you very much for those that held through this. One, kudos on your strong pause. Strong pause. Two, looks like this is a nice swing set. You know how these things take, because we look back, it took a little while to get up there. I mean, look at this. It took a while to get up there, and then just kind of went back and forth. And as we go through, it's going to take a little bit to come back. Whales probably got either a little annoyed that there was a delay and they couldn't start making their, flipping real quick, so they sold. Somebody might have tried to manipulate the market. Alejandro pointed that out, and so there. I appreciate the thank you for the great content, the education, all of that. So I'm just going to offer up here. I don't hold any ill will. I totally get it. If you either sold back here, you're buying back in here, you're walking away from the project, I get it. I just offer is, please, we're trying to make sure that it's a secure project. We're trying to make sure the code is absolutely perfect. For one, bad code is a blasphemy to my God. So I take this fucking personal. Like, I'm on a holy goddamn divine fucking mission here from fucking God to make sure that God's divine word as expressed in code from the data is not a blasphemy. So I'm sorry, but like the delay here has been like, I had to do it. Like I would be a heretic if I didn't get this right. So I thank you very much for understanding my faith. Thank you very much for understanding what we're trying to do and have patience. I would say strong pause possibly buy this dip because I'm hoping that we're going to get more. I should say, I'm hoping that as we will get more information out to you, because we're committing to getting more information out to you with the testing and development process to show that, hey, all of this works, and hey, boom, it goes through. You'll donate once. Hey, by all means, sure, go ahead. I understand people are broke right now. That's why I'm doing it for tips. I understand. I also understand that we're probably going to get like a shit ton of donations rolling in later on because to you, Razus, one, thank you for making that commitment. I appreciate that. Thank you for the full I appreciate you understand the full transparency because I don't have to be a non. I'm going to be on the charity paperwork as we incorporate, so I'm not like I'm doxing myself in this regard when it comes out. But I like being this. Like that's the name I have to use with the fucking normie world. Fuck them. As far as in my mind, I'm Coyote. But anyway. So yeah, thank you for that. And for this, once you donate with Yeld, I understand. I'll be working on Yeld. That might be a bit, but that's also for you guys. Understand, one, right now, I am representing a church. We are operating as a charity. We are in the process of incorporating right now, as in the paperwork has been filed. We're waiting for that to go through. We'll be filing the tax-exempt status. So we'll be truly a tax-exempt charity. Then we'll iterate through and continue on with Audit DAO as the secular version. Kind of like the Red Cross isn't really a Christian organization. Where the Audit DAO won't really be, with us. We'll just basically we're creating Audit DAO so we can serve Audit DAO. We're just incorporating because we got our faith and we want to make sure that we can protect that and keep doing our thing. Anyway, paperwork's already in, but under at least I can comment on the U.S. tax code under U.S. tax code 502, which is the one after 501, which is where the 501c3s are listed. Right underneath that, it says that any church that is operating as a charity is able to receive tax-deductible donations. But it is up to the person making the donation to be able to justify that to the IRS, and the IRS may choose not to respect that. Now, the church can come in and offer evidence and support. We would totally commit to doing that. But to throw out there is, we are in the process of incorporating. The paperwork is filed. That should go through with no problem because all we're trying to do is be a church that is offering educational services and technological development. Then, boom, we file for the tax exempt status. Should have no problem there because, again, we're a technological development and educational nonprofit. And, bam, all donations made to us for the work that we're doing that you guys value so much are also tax deductible. And we're slating that very quickly, so we will have that done by year end. So, I understand people waiting, throwing out there, can't say they're tax deductible yet. We're going to work on that. We are making them tax deductible. So if you want to continue funding our work, you want us to continue writing good software so you have a good investment, safe, stable environments, just know everything we're doing, charity work, tax-free. So, can you comment on what the price will be? I don't comment on price. I'm sorry. I don't know. As far as Yeld, no idea. I don't know what the price will be. It's not a personal thing. It's like, I'm just not really a trading guy. I know economics, but economics doesn't really tell you theory. Like, economics will say, I can do the economics and say, well, this likely will go up. But also the market could decide, fuck these guys, we don't like those people, and thus it goes down. So, I'm not entirely sure. Anyway, with that, thank you, everyone. I have stuff I need to get to. I have tasks I need to complete to continue serving you guys. So I appreciate all the work, and thank you for joining me. It's been exciting. It's been a roller coaster. I hope you enjoyed it. For those that bought the dip, I think you did a good choice. I totally endorse that, and it looks like it's already recovering and on its way back up. Might take a bit of time as people talk about it. You guys, you have the link to the video. You have my tweets. You can go share this. You can go combat the FUD, because that's my whole point. I just give you the info to go fight the battle you want to fight. All right? And you can choose which battles you want to fight. You can choose your investment strategy. I'm not going to tell you what to do with your money. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not a legal expert. I'm just a cartoon doge on the internet that loves code and worships data. I want to process data into the Word of God to provide you more information and education. That's it. I just live to teach. So, all right then. Thank you all, and I will bid you adieu. You're probably not going to hear from me apart from those videos that come up, but that's where I'm going to be trying to get Jeff involved to help make more of those, because I'd like to get him out in public more if he's willing to. I understand. He might be shy. We got a lot of anons. But otherwise, thank you all, and have a good day and rest of your week. I will be a bit sporadic, But Saturday, we have a stream where we'll be showing off phase 1 to demonstrate all the wonderful work Jeff has done, show the initial phase 1 results of my design, and we'll have a donation dive where, keep this in mind, again, I gave you the pro tip. I gave you the pro tip on Yeld, I gave you the pro tip on Team Finance because we're working with them, and other team pro tip. This Saturday, we're launching a donations platform where possibly by then will be tax deductible, maybe not, but we're going to be selling NFTs that can be used. We're going to respect those later on in our pre-sale process and our voting process. And the NFTs will come with a referral mechanism where you can try to transfer. I'm not going to tell you exactly what's happening. Just going to tell you that we'll have a referral process in place. There will be leaderboards and non-profit driven rewards, because we're a non-profit, so we can't help you realize a portion of the profits. But there will be benefits in the non-profit. There will be extra status in the non-profit that will come from not just having the NFT, having more of the NFTs. We're going to keep iterating, selling different NFTs for each phase of the development, commemorating the team members, and we will have a fun, and we hope fun and engaging referral game where you'll be able to give away your NFT and yet still keep the NFT to drive referrals, and a leaderboard system attached to that to keep track of who's given the most referrals and which referrals have successfully come back and made donations. So just a heads up there, I'll be advertising that as we lead up to it, making more announcements. I just want to finish, I want to get the development in a good point. We're in a great point, but I want to get the development down solid so we have some tests to show, do some more demos and trials with Jeff there, because he's done excellent work on the code. I want to make sure we have a good show for demonstrating that, and then boom, we will have donation platform out, and you guys can donate and have a fun little game to help drive more donations, to help drive our work even further. Okay? So with that,